from this point, we're going to take the gold tipping pen, and here's where I may put my optivisors on, and I'm going to lightly trace right around the edge of the tape here, creating a slight gold ring. Okay. Now you can see this slight gold ring sitting around this tape. And that's exactly the look that we're looking for here. At this point, I'm going to take our eye here. I'm going to put it right down on this little caddy that we created. I'm going to grab this color called Statuary Bronze. And I'm going to take this stiff bristle brush here. And I'm going to lightly just kind of take some of this brown and I'm going to apply it in here in kind of a dusty fashion. Okay, once I have it in there, I can blow most of that out. So when I take a look at it, it'll give us somewhat of a nice stain to the eye. That way your eye will have a lot of depth to it as well. Okay. I can put this down now. And once you put the gold on and the statuary bronze, you're going to take your sealer. You're going to lightly apply your sealer to your eye. Then you're going to take a hairdryer just to quickly dry this. Okay. Once this is dry, we're going to use 3 different colors to create the value of this eye coloration that we're looking for here. The first color we're going to use is our gold leaf metallic powder called Antique Bronze. I'm going to take the general purpose brush for this. I'm going to dip right in there and get a little bit of this color on here. Then I'm virtually going to paint the entire inside of this eye with this color. I stay inside the perimeter of the eye, which would be the iris or the color part of the eye. Okay. Once that's done, without sealing it, I'm going to use another color. This is one of the Pearl X colors. This is gray lavender. I'm just going to clean off this brush here on my fingers. And the gray lavender color we're going to use just very sporadically around the eye, because when we notice in our reference picture that we use that there is some lavender color in here. There's some grays and a little bit of silvers and some golds in here, and we're going to try to achieve that by using that lavender color. Okay. Once you think you have enough of that in there, there's also some gold that we see in the eye of the walleye. We're going to use Aztec gold. That's a Pearl X color. And this color we're going to mix in at just different points, creating a little bit of a gold effect for our eye here. Once you have those 3 colors put into place, again, we're going to take our sealer here. Okay. And we'll take our hairdryer one more time, and we'll make sure that this is nice and dry. Okay. Once you have that nice and dry, we're going to go to a conventional airbrush color, which is the Lifetone Candy Rich Brown. And we're going to use our Badger Renegade airbrush. And I really like these Badger airbrushes. Before you spray any color, you want to test it out on a little paper plate or something. And as you can see, this airbrush has quite a range to it, from the finest lines to a nice broad spray. We're going to take this color and we're going to basically spray it around the entire eye, including the color pigments that we put on there. Okay, once you have a decent application of your brown, then we can at this point remove our tape pupil there, creating our clear pupil, which we'll do in one moment. I've taken the opportunity to clean out the paint from our airbrush, and now we can move right back over to our eye. What we're going to do is we're going to remove our eye from our little homemade caddy that we've made here, and we're going to take a look at the actual coloration of the eye that we've created. As you can see, there's lots of depth and lots of range now of color, including our soft pale lavender colors with some golds and some nice variations of brown. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to remove this this taped on pupil here, creating a nice clear pupil image of this. So as we remove the tape here, what I do first is I just kind of flatten it out here a little bit, and I push around gently. I don't want to scratch the acrylic, and I also don't want to scratch the paint. So I'm just going to move this around until one side seems to want to give. And I think we have our winner right here. Just be patient and take your time when you do this. Okay, once it's removed, it should leave us with a nice clear area here. We can turn the eye over, and we still have our little crosshairs on here. And we're just going to take a little bit of a paper towel, or you can even use your finger. I'll put a little bit of spirits on my finger here and just wipe that right off of there. Okay. The next step is we're going to take our little glass bead here, and that's going to be inserted behind the eye, but we're going to put a little bit of paint on that first, and then we're going to seal that into the eye. But as you can see, even without paint on it, it gives a nice refraction quality to the eye of the walleye. We're going to paint a little bit of silver onto the back of our glass eye. That way when we turn it over, we don't directly see the silver, but when light hits it, it'll create a refraction quality. We're going to choose to use this fine aluminum number 19 by the Gold Leaf Metallic Powder Company. We're going to just take our general all-purpose brush here. And as you can see, we're just going to paint just a little bit of silver onto the back of this eye. Okay. And then we'll take our paper plate here. We'll put just a little bit of sealer on there. And that'll create enough base right there for our silver. We're going to take a moment and dry this with our hair dryer. And what we're going to do is I've taken a little bit of epoxy here, just an A-B side of our epoxy. And you can use any general taxidermy epoxy that we use. I'm just going to mix this up just for a moment. And we'll take a paper towel, just in case we need one. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop our little glass eye into the back of our eye. And then we're going to make a little bit of a worm with our epoxy. We're going to put our epoxy right into place here. I'm going to push that down so it squeezes into the eye. Okay. We'd let that basically harden right into place. Okay. But when we turn our eye over, after we get this eye cleaned out here, you're going to see that it leaves a really nice refractive type of finish to the eye. I'm going to take a little paper towel here. We're just going to buff off the surface of the eye to make it nice and clean. And as you can see here, using our reference, that we've pretty much captured a lot of the coloration to the eye of a walleye. Also, if I pivot this eye around, it goes from black to reflective, just like the eye of a walleye would. So hopefully what we've seen here is how to incorporate different values of our powder paint pigments and create a negative looking pupil by painting around a little bit of tape in the shape of a pupil to create the walleye eye. I hope you've had fun learning how to paint the eye of a walleye with us here today at Anglers Artistry. And again, the most valuable tool that you'll have is going to be your reference material. So this way you can check your work against nature. After all, that's the most important piece of what we do. All we're doing is interpreting nature. If we can see it, we can reproduce it. I'm Rick Crane from Anglers Artistry. I hope you've enjoyed spending time with us learning how to paint the eye of a walleye.